What's good, chat? It's your favorite 6 man off the bench. I'm here with my Unc as always. Welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. Unc, how you doing today on this lovely Wednesday?
We're about to start talking about the postseason awards coming up, like Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, and I'm telling you, Malik Monk, he in some trouble because my nephew over here, man, he is a fill-in. I'm trying to tell you, that 6 man off the bench. Y'all talking about Malik Monk? Y'all talking about Caruso? Nah, my nephew over here, I'm telling you, he is definitely that spot off the bench.
Yes,
I'm
put me in the
telling you.
conversation. I need my credit. I appreciate that love, Unc. So,
Hey,
Unc, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this thing, man. We had some great action last night in the association.
yes,
One of the teams that has finally seemed to hit their stride, the Golden State Warriors. I think they won 7 of their last 8. Draymond Green reinserted into the lineup after his suspension. Klay Thompson being benched. He's looking like he's kind of thrived in his role. What are your thoughts on the Warriors, and how do you feel about them as a contender in the West?
Well, I don't like them as a contender in the West, but I knew that this was going to happen because I think 7 of their next 10 games is against they played the Wizards last night. I think the next 9 games, 6 of them against non-playoff teams. So what you're seeing right now, you're going to see them keep rolling like this. And with them rolling like this, there's going to be this kind of talk. Are the Warriors back? Are the Warriors doing what they're supposed to be doing? Well, Klay Thompson coming off the bench, I think he averaging 20 a game coming off the bench. And the problem with him coming off the bench, people will immediately look at it and go, he's coming off the bench. He's playing against second unit guys. No, he's playing against first unit guys too. It's not like when he comes off the bench, everybody from the second unit just goes to the bench. No, he plays against first unit guys too. And he's still doing work against those first unit guys. Here's the difference though, nephew. When he plays against those second unit guys and those first unit guys and he does work, Steve Kerr is looking at that.
Right.
With the logic that maybe I should put him back in the lineup. When that's not the logic at all. No, you stick with him coming off the bench because he's that spark plug that you need. I mean, I think Pods is one of my favorite players. He's still trying to figure it out, but he's one of my favorite players coming into the lineup. The fact that they turned Kuminga loose is an understatement. The biggest addition to this crew, ironically, is Draymond Green because he brings so much to them. He brings a ball handler. He brings a distributor. He brings a playmaker. He brings a defender. He brings a communicator. He brings all of that stuff that they didn't have. Steph Curry is not Steph Curry without Draymond Green playing the way Draymond Green plays because Draymond Green attracts a lot of attention, a lot. And on top of that, contrary to the quote-unquote goofy stuff that he does, Draymond Green is a pretty smart basketball player.
100%.
He knows how to read defenses. He knows how to, in terms of dribble handoff, he knows when to give the ball up, when to go downhill. He knows who to look for. He knows when to talk to a guy on his team and tell him what's going on, as opposed to just letting the game go and letting guys make mistakes. He doesn't do any of that. Draymond Green is necessary for this Warriors crew. I've said this in the past. I'm not sure that they win any of them championships without Draymond Green. I'm not sure if they do.
No, I 100% agree with that. I think he's 100% been the engine for that team. I think another thing about Draymond Green too, Unc, is just this straight up fact that he probably brings a calmness to that locker room. You know, he's one of those people
crazy, I know that sounds crazy.
It's crazy.
Nah, it's not, yo.
It's not. Like, that's the guy you want in your foxhole. You know what I'm saying? You want a Draymond Green in your foxhole. And the thing is, and this is where I think he does get a bit underrated, is he's probably a good mentor. I understand the Jordan Poole thing was not phenomenal, but I look at Pods. I like his attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Draymond Green spoke about a time when, Pods came up to him and be like, you can't turn the ball over for game. And Draymond was like, well, if this is who you are, this is what I want you to be. And Pods is embodying that, and I think that's, his personality is infectious. That is a guy you want to be with. So I think he brings a level of comfort. Klay Thompson, I think it's good that he's doing what he's doing off the bench. I think what people are not realizing is a lot of these second units, Unc, are younger lineups. These are younger players in these second units. This is a situation where Klay can abuse that level of inexperience. I don't think putting him back in the starting lineup is the best move. Put him in that 6-man. He's one of the best. And this is the crazy part, I think, of the whole Klay Thompson situation. as washed up as everybody says he is now, he's shooting it 38, 37 from the three still.
Yeah.
Damn near still 40% three-point shooter.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like he's still one of the top shooters in all the NBA. So this is a good move. My only concern is their size.
Let's make sure we clear. I am not of the belief that the Golden State Warriors are winning the NBA championship.
Facts.
But I do think that this is suffice for right now. I mean, I think he's playing anywhere between 25 to 30 minutes coming off the bench, which is solid for a rotation player. If he was, in fact, not if he was, this was what it was supposed to look like with Jordan Poole. Right. He was supposed to be that transition for Jordan Poole was going to be that transition, and Klay was going to segue to the bench to a reduced role and still be awesome, as opposed to you guys still thinking that Klay was that guy. He had 2 career-ending injuries back to back. It clearly slowed him down. It clearly slowed him down. And the fact that Draymond and Jordan Poole got into that nonsense, that derailed that process with Klay Thompson. And Klay Thompson basically making a silky segue to the bench where he could, in this role, if we being honest, J. Rob, and I know it sounds ridiculous because he's played such an integral part in the championships that they've been in. I honestly believe that in this role that he's in with the Golden State Warriors, he can up his trade value. That's number one. And if they don't want to trade him and he wants to continue at this role, he could probably play at this role at another 3 or 4 more years,
right?
In a reduced role and be just as effective because they don't need him to be 22 to 25 a game. They don't need him to be a lights out shooter. They don't need him to be a lockdown defender. He's in a reduced role now. So because he's in a reduced role, his responsibilities change. So you can still knock down shots. Absolutely, we need that. We don't need you to knock down shots like you did when you was a starter. We don't need you to defend like you did when you was a starter. Right. Just can you give us that in stretches? Not like you did when you played 35, 40 minutes every night. No, we don't need that. And this was supposed to be the logic when Jordan Poole was there. He was supposed to play behind Jordan Poole until he got ready and let Jordan Poole segue into the starting 2-guard spot like you're doing with Pods. Right. But instead, you rushed him. And I don't think you screwed Jordan Poole up, but I do think that the process got screwed up. But I can tell you this, J-Rob, this Warriors team, I think they're going to make the playoffs. Right. Because they're going to go on a run in these next 9 games, and they're going to definitely make up some ground. So some people are going to start to overrate them because I don't think they're a championship team. But I do think that over these next couple of games, we're going to see an above average Golden State Warrior team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think they could also, I don't think anybody would be surprised if they won a playoff series. I think matchups definitely matter. You know, there's going to be some young playoff teams going into the Western Conference, and we're going to see what these young bulls are really about. So, you know, I think the Warriors will have, you know, a bit of the mental warfare edge. And, you know, one more point about Klay Thompson I do want to add is, you know, Chill, he's had to kind of reestablish his confidence as well. And I think that's what people haven't really given him enough patience with. You know, when you're going from being a star, the guy, to now having a reduced role and finding your rhythm and, you know, you're getting your body back, you know, mentally that is a lot. And because of the level in which and the expectations that the Warriors have, a guy like Klay Thompson, he's going to be, you know, highly criticized about his level of play, especially because there's already a standard tied to the level of excellence that he's had in the league. So,
right. And with that also being said, J-Rob, physically, I got to get my confidence back. Yeah. So before we even talk about mentally, physically, can I run? Can I hop like I used to? My freshman year in college, I broke my foot. I had never had a major injury like that before. Right. The first thing I was thinking is, am I going to be able to run as fast as I used to? It wasn't that bad. It was a hairline.
Oh, chill. Oh, he lagged? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, technical difficulties. He should be right back. We're gonna get Chill back. We're gonna get him back. He got sniped. Yeah, Unk did get sniped. He did get sniped. Me holding on. It's all good. Yeah, he did get sniped. Let me make sure. Let me resend. Make sure he got. Okay. He did get sniped. He should be back though. Yeah. So, any thoughts, chat, on Klay Thompson? Thoughts on Klay Thompson? Should he remain with the Warriors? Should Klay remain with the Warriors? Should maybe he look to go somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? Like, are there teams? I'm just making sure we handle these difficulties, chat. Hold on. Just chopping it up. Klay Thompson bench roll is perfect. No worries. He's just fixing his joint. He'll be right back. Shout out Xfinity. Get it together, man. Get it together, Xfinity. Xfinity in chat. Klay Thompson bench roll is perfect. Yeah, I like the bench roll for Klay. I think it's a good transition for him. And honestly, to be honest, chat, for a player like, what it do, buddy? For a player like Klay Thompson, he has the ability to find a new gear, like a new motor. New motivation, excuse me. For example, now that he is in his bench role, going into the 2025, 2026, the 2024, 2025 season, he might be looking at, I'm gonna get a 6 man. I'm gonna add a 6 man to my repertoire.
My fault.
No, all good. All good.
My fault. Yeah, Xfinity is on some nonsense. Anyway, like I was saying, so when it comes to Klay Thompson, I think he's perfect in the role that he's in. The Warriors, on the other hand, they're gonna look like they look now. They're gonna look like they look now, and they're gonna fool some people. With them fooling some people, there's gonna be some people that's thinking, yo, because that's the downside about guys like.
Damn, did they snipe Unc again? They sniped him again, chat. They sniped him again. Damn. I don't think the Warriors is fooling people, Leaf. They got Unc again, though. Xfinity, you blowing us. You making it hard right now. Yeah. I don't think the Warriors are actually fooling people. I actually think people are they're better than what they were. Like, I don't think the Warriors playing better basketball is surprising, because that's the level of basketball team we look at that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say they fooling people. Now, obviously, there are going to be Warriors fans and Curry fans who are going to go off the ledge and look at this team as a potential championship team. I don't think they're that. I think they got to get a little bit better. They need a legit. I think it is about time the Golden State Warriors found them a center for the future. Like, I like Trace Jackson. I think Trace is very, very good motor, active around the rim. However, to me, where he lacks is he's only 6'9". You know, he's about a 6'9", 6'8", 6'9" guy. So I think they need a real footer, man. They need a 7-footer around that rim, and I think that'll be good. So that's one thing I'm thinking about. Like, if I'm looking at not even a 7-footer, anything 6'11", 6'10" and up for sure, bigger build, like real center build. Like, even a Naz Reid would be crazy in Golden State to me with what they got. I think he's a great big. I think there's a few players that could go out there and excel. Damn, we're going to wait for Chill to get back. Honestly, we don't know when he's going to get back, y'all. But, in the meantime, at least, maybe I'll go ahead, because I don't know when Unc going to come back. He probably might be resetting his Wi-Fi. So I'm going to throw this link in here, chat, and y'all can pull up and we could talk some hoops. But when Unc come back, I'm going to remove you, but I'll leave you in the back of the lobby so that, when we do bring people up, or when he does come back, y'all can chop it up. So I'm going to leave that link in if you want to come in, talk about hoops. But while we in here anyway, chat, have y'all been tapping into the playback streams, and what are y'all thoughts on the playback streams? Was anybody at the 2 game winners? J-Rob is 2 for 2 on game winners right now on playback. I'm going for the 3rd one right now tonight. We're going for a third one. So make sure y'all tap in with me and Ben at 10 p.m. Eastern on Playback. This is my dog Brax. Okay. Brax in the chat. Brax, what's good, bro?
How you doing, my brother? My brother Mustang.
What's goody? How you doing, man, bro? What's up? What's the word?
I'm doing swell today, man. I'm doing pretty swell. So what's the topic of the conversation again? I'm sorry, I've been in and out.
No, you good. We were talking about Klay Thompson, and really just the Warriors as a whole. What they look like as a team. Should we be getting what's the word I'm looking for? Should we be getting excited about the Warriors now that they're playing some better basketball, winning some games? Is this a team that we need to be looking at as a real contender in the West? Or is just or is it just, the Warriors look good, but it's nothing to get, too overly,
J-Rob, I'm gonna stop you right there, brother. I'm an OKC fan. You don't gotta ask me about Klay Thompson. That boy needs to be a 15th man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Stop it. Oh, stop it, Brad.
Nah, look at you. I like Klay off the bench. I do think that boy is washed, so he can stay there. Lead that second unit for real. On top of the fact he's probably not just gonna be just on the second unit the whole time. He's probably gonna blend in with the starters more likely than not. I'm gonna be honest, that the Warriors are gold. They're fool's gold though, man. That's fool's gold. That schedule's not moving me, man. I'm gonna be honest. They're too talented of a roster for them to beat up on bums the way that they beating up on bums, and for me to take that serious. You feel me?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. I respect the direction that they going in.
Right.
Slow motion better than no motion, but
right,
brother, it's not moving me.
Okay, Breezy, what's your thoughts on all of this?
I think it's professional by the front office to take care of Klay Thompson, moving him to the bench seamlessly the way they did. It shows that they building a culture over there. You got a guy who helped win you a championship instead of trying to trade him and make him feel invaluable when he may have had a setback. You show him that he's still valuable if he agrees to come off of the bench. If he could look past, I guess, him being big headed about his status with the team and take a step back and come off of the bench, I think it puts Golden State Warriors as a playoff team for years to come. And it also shows the rest of the league, even colleges, players in college, they will want to come to the franchise wow, look how they treat their champions. There's countless times, I'll use the Knicks for example, because I don't really rock with them like that. I mean, you see what they did. You see what they did to Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing, they got him going, and you see all of the. You see how he contributed to the Knicks franchise. So I just think that they could have did him better with him leaving the Knicks franchise, and I think what they're doing with Klay Thompson is dope.
Big fan. I will say this though, the thing that you're not talking about, my brother, is you got to remember the basketball guys cursed the Knicks for what they did to get Patrick Ewing. You got to remember, no bad deed goes no foul deed goes unpunished, man. So when you manipulate the ping pong balls to get Patrick Ewing, we knew it was bad.
Yeah, been fraudulent since then, man. The guys knew.
We cursed ourselves. So. But but all jokes aside, I do very much agree. And I was trying what I was saying before I pulled up is I think this could be a great thing for Klay. Oh wait, Unk back y'all, so y'all can hold in the back, but I'll bring y'all back up when we get the guys back. Okay, Unk.
I think we good now.
We good. Nah, it's all good. Listen, I'm gonna hold it down. I'm gonna hold it down. We good.
I think we good. It shouldn't be no more nonsense. I don't know what the hell going on with Xfinity, but.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about the 7 games, and then I think it's the next 8 games or so. Yeah, I think it's the next 8 games or so. I think that they're gonna fool some people.
Right.
So I'm fooling some people. People are gonna think that this team is a lot better than what they really are. But that's what happens when guys like Steph, Klay, and Dre stay together. You automatically think that, these dudes could keep doing it, when in reality, some things have to change. And the fact that Klay went to the bench, that's one of those things. That's one of those things that has changed and that has helped the Warriors. Now, The question is are they going to keep this going, right? Can we keep with Klay Thompson on the bench, right? With Klay Thompson on the bench, I think he can keep this production up. Will Steve Kerr stick to that? Will Steve Kerr stick to that and not be tempted to put him back in the starting lineup? Because I know what's going to happen, J-Rob. We're going to get to the playoffs, right? We're going to get to the playoffs, and Klay is rolling, and Kerr is going to want to so much put him back in the starting lineup because he's not going to stick with pods. He's not going to stick with these young boys. In reality, that's your guy. Those are your guys.
I won 4 championships with this guy. You know, is how can I go against him? But I will say this: I think the X factor to it is pods. How is Brandon going to play? Yeah, because if he plays like a NBA starter to the level that I believe he could play at as well, because I think he's good. I'll be honest. I think he's damn good. I think he got a lot of juice to him. So if he can play at a good enough level, I think Kerr will be comfortable bringing Klay off the bench, because I also do believe. And I know the people are going to be like, what about what he did to Russell Westbrook in that Clippers game? However, I think in championship playoff basketball, if you're in a late game situation, I think you won't have too much of a conflict of interest if you have to leave Klay in the game at a crucial time and maybe have Pods on the bench. And I think Pods as a rookie will understand that Klay's been in these situations multiple times. And, you know, it's not an indictment on you as a player. It's just in this moment, it's needed. Like, I give Gilbert Arenas a lot of credit for when he said, like, for example, you know, Dwight Howard, he played all through the Western Conference Finals for the Lakers, but when they got to the finals, he didn't play at all. But your impact was already felt. So, you know, in these moments, it is what it is. It's just coaching. It's just basketball.
If you look at the Warriors schedule, they got the Knicks on third. They got the Knicks tomorrow night in New York. They should beat them. I do know that, but I feel like they should beat the Knicks. Off the strength of how beat up the Knicks been,
we're decimated.
How beat up the Knicks been, and how short their rotation has become. Then they got Toronto on Friday on a back-to-back. I think they could beat Toronto too. Then on Sunday, they got Boston in Boston. You already know how I feel about Jason Tatum when he got to see Steph Curry. That's like DeMar DeRozan when he got to see LeBron James, like seeing the boogeyman, right? That's like DeMar DeRozan when it's like DeMar DeRozan when he got to see the boogeyman. So it's completely different with that dude. And I'm thinking to myself, when I see this, they could run off 10 of their next like 12 games, and it could be something serious. It could be, but I'm definitely not getting involved in that. So I'm not doing that.
So moving on, you know, we were talking backstage, Victor Wembanyama. I mean, I'm already there. Chill. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's inevitable. He'll be the best player in basketball soon, sooner rather than later. I just think he's getting better and better as the season goes on. Like, you know how usually you see a rookie hit a rookie wall.
Yeah.
Where I don't know where his wall is. So
I'm with you.
Yeah. So I don't. You know, most rookie walls don't exist. I mean, usually exist. And the fact that during this point, he's just, to me, still getting better as a basketball player, I think is really impressive. So my thoughts are really, what have you been, you know, what were your initial thoughts on Wembanyama?
Yeah.
And then what are your thoughts now? I'm not gonna lie, I got completely distracted by Leaf Super Chat. I'm not gonna I apologize for that.
No problem.
But
when he came into the game, when Wembanyama came into the game, I thought he was like 19, 9, 2 blocks, maybe 3. I thought he was going to be really good at guarding the long ball line because of how much space he covers. I thought that he would struggle offensively because the pro game here is way different than the pro game in Europe.
Right.
In terms of action off the basketball, action with the basketball, how they use you in the post, how they use you in the mid post. He was more of a ball handler when he was playing in France. He won't be that much. And then Pop looked like he was trying to do that with him. Like he was trying out different things where he would use him with the basketball, then he would use him off the ball. And then he started giving him the ball more. They're still a lead guard away from really making some noise in the Western Conference. But his strides, I thought that he would be good. I didn't think that he would be this effective defensively, though.
Lord have mercy.
No, I didn't think that he would be.
Lord have mercy.
I honestly thought that there would be guys that were going to take advantage of him. One, because of his slender build. Two, because he really doesn't know the pro game from a defensive standpoint. I thought that, understand. It took Rudy a while to understand this. And Rudy is arguably the best defensive player of his generation. So when you're talking about closeouts, right? When you're talking about angles, how to block shots, how not to foul, I thought that he would struggle in that area. He just looks like he's better than he looks like he's better than most of the guys. I mean, there's still guys who are ahead of him, Anthony Davis, Gobert, Bam, just guys like that. But I'm watching him, and he struggled last night. As good as he played, he struggled last night against Rudy, and that's against a vet. That's against an all-pro vet who's arguably the best defensive player in the game, which I expect him to struggle against a guy like that, right? But also, they struggle, San Antonio, with him. I still don't think they know what they're doing with him. I watched Wemby run down the gut on a fast break, and I believe it was Vassell. He had the ball in the baseline. He's running down the gut, J-Rob. And when I say running down the gut, I thought he was going to bump his head on the rim. That's because he was running right to the rim. And then instead of Vassell handing him the ball, because that's how close he was to him, instead of him handing him the ball, he kicks it out to the long ball line. I'm thinking a lead guard knows that the first guy that I'm looking for when he's running is the big guy.
Big man, yes.
That's the first dude I'm looking for. When he put his head down and he running, that's who I'm looking for. And they don't look for him nearly as much as they should or as much as they can. They don't look for him as nearly as much. So I do think that there's going to be some retooling in this roster, but San Antonio definitely got their franchise player. 100%.
I'm going to just use this opportunity to segue into just some more propaganda because you said something where you hit on the nose. You said a lead guard. And last time I was up here with you, Unc, I talked about a potential lead guard that I wanted you to do some research on if you had the opportunity to. And I'm going to say it again. The chat already knows where I'm going with this. Robert Dillingham of the University of Kentucky is giving Victor Wembanyama that basketball on a rim run right then and there. And I think he has already shown that he can play pro basketball pick and roll with a guy like Victor Wembanyama. And the Spurs are primed to have a pick 1 through 7, 1 through 5 from where their standings are in that lottery. Don't let them boys go out there and get that 5th because they're going to miss and not take this kid in the top 3. But if the Spurs got that 4, 5, 6, or 7, that is their lead guard. I'm telling you right now, it'll be insane.
First of all, and I'm laughing, right? I'm laughing because he kind of fell into this role. Like Jason Tatum fell into the role in Boston when Gordon broke his leg.
Yeah.
Well, DJ Wagner was supposed to be that dude, only except he's not. And Dillingham actually outplayed him. He's better with the basketball. He better in transition. One of the things that I like about him, because me and you already had this conversation, J-Rob, where I talked about I got to start paying attention. I got to start paying more attention to these college basketball players. Yo, I dig his motor. He is with the drama right from the beginning. He's slapping the floor. He's sitting down in the chair. He is with it.
Yeah.
He is 100% with it. So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? That might be your lead guard right there. I'm not saying that he is, but to pass on him and the big kid from Purdue, to pass on him, man, I'm trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
I think that big guy Edie is going to fall into somebody's lap.
His feet to me, you can see that, his feet are developing. Like he has, I thought my issue with Edie was, is he going to be stuck in the mud? Because if he's stuck in the mud in the NBA, I don't know if he'll last, but he's looking like he can move a little bit. And I agree, the right situation. I mean, listen, you can't teach that level of size. And look, I'll admit this too. You can see the volleyball background. He got a great touch around the rim. I mean, he really does, at his size. So, I think he'll be. I'm excited to see what he's gonna be too. And one more Kentucky kid, that Reed Shepherd. Lord have mercy. The politics of college basketball is insane because Shepherd and Dillingham, both of those guys, probably the 4-star guys, the lower 2 guys in the UK recruiting class, the 2 best freshmen in the class.
Which is crazy, right? Even though Kentucky got the number 1 high school basketball player in the country, he ain't even the best one of all of them dudes.
No, he's
not.
Which,
by the way, this kid Shepherd, like it's in the genes, because I don't know if y'all know this, but his pops played at UK.
Yeah.
That's his father. So he was on that national championship team in '98. Yeah, he was on that crew.
So there you go. And this raises another question. Unc, how are we evaluating these kids?
Oh, we definitely.
How are we evaluating these kids?
Definitely, it's way faster than what we should be doing.
Yeah,
100% it is way faster than what we should be doing. Because if you look at the crews and you look at these kids, Bronny James is a prime example of that. Bronny James, if that wasn't his father and he played at the University of Colorado, nobody'd be talking about him. But J-Rob, what happens in 2 years when he's a junior and he made the All Pac-12 team for the second time, right?
He's averaging 16 a game, 17 a game.
Now all of a sudden, watch out for this kid that's at the University of Southern California named Bronny James, point guard, super athlete. But the fact that James is his father, he doesn't get a chance to develop, and he doesn't get a chance for people to show. He doesn't get a chance to show people that I can be good if you just give me some time instead of throwing him in the fire. Because last I checked, the kid was a McDonald's All-American. He wasn't a McDonald's All-American when he showed up to Sierra Academy. He was not in the 9th grade. We get to the 11th grade, we get to the 12th grade. Next thing you know, this dude is a top 25, top 30 player in the country. So same logic goes on with him being in college. Next thing you know, this kid is 15, 16 a game in his junior year. And now you rating the point guards or you rating the guards in the country. He a top 10 guard in the country. And
lottery.
Now his draft stock goes up. Yep. So it's important. It's not only important to be patient with these kids, but it's important to understand who they are. Right. Bronny James is a kid who needs time to develop. The fact that his father is who he is, he's never going to be that good. Let's get to the bottom of that right now. And the fact that he plays basketball, you're going to automatically put him next to his father.
And that's just not fair.
It's just not, because I'm not that good. And no matter how hard I try, I'm never going to be that good, ever. Now, it doesn't help that his father going around telling people that, he better than some of the players in the NBA right now. Well, okay, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that's true. That's true for a lot of guys that play in college. They better than the 12th man or the 13th man on the roster. But that ain't what the logic is. You didn't send him to USC for 1 year so he could be better than the 12th man. No, You didn't do that. You sent him there so, number one, he could get a good education. Number two, so he could develop himself. So if he ain't ready after this year, I think that he'll be ready. I think minimum 2 years. Definitely minimum 2 years. I wouldn't mind if he stayed the third year.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And I will say this last thing about him, J-Rob. When I think about pros, right? When I think about pros and I think about guys like Bronny James, there's going to be a team, and I know this sounds ridiculous. There's going to be a team at the bottom of the draft that's goofy enough. That's goofy enough.
New ism unlocked, chat. New ism unlocked.
That's goofy enough to say, could we get James for a year if we draft him with the 28th pick? And by the way, who's got the 28th pick? More than likely, it's one of the teams with the best record in the league, like Minnesota, like Cleveland, right? Like Oklahoma City. If we drafted Bronny James 28, could we get in? And by the way, the later round, first round picks, their deals are only locked in, I think, 2 years. I think those with a team option after the third.
Yeah, because remember, that's why Gilbert Arenas got that bag so early, because when he was a second round pick, and then boom, he got that money quick because he outplayed that contract early.
Right. Yeah. So you figure if James ends up, I don't know, the number 29 pick, and like Tony Parker, and guess what? We moving to Oklahoma City for a year. Guess where we move? We moving to Minnesota for a year. Because the team, and James is smart enough to know that, this is a ploy just to get me over there. This ain't got nothing to do with my son. Because if this was really about my son, right? If this was really about my boy, we would let him develop and we would let him get better. Nah, this ain't about that. This is a ploy to get me over there, and I'm not going to get sucked into that. I'm not. If he's smart, which I know he is, and he won't get sucked into that. No, do not put your name in the draft, Don't do that.
The one thing I will say that hasn't been fair to Bronny James of this whole thing, before we move to our next topic, is just I want to mention, it's like the entire world forgot that he had a cardiac arrest this summer. I know you know this name, Chill. We're gonna go in a Rolodex, and you're gonna be very proud of me. A player by the name of Hank Gathers. Hank Gathers had a cardiac arrest. What also nobody talks about with Hank Gathers is Hank Gathers had a cardiac arrest. The medical staff cleared him 3 or 4 days after he had a cardiac arrest. Hank Gathers, in his return to basketball after a 4 days post-cardiac arrest, dies on the basketball court. So people need to understand that
on national television, by the way.
On national television. So I need y'all to understand that this kid went through a life-threatening incident, and y'all are talking about him because of what other people are saying about what he could be in the NBA. And so you're not even giving him the grace to develop because of what everybody else's opinion of him is. And I'm like, bro had a cardiac arrest. Let's give him a year or two. We've got a lot of good basketball players that have gone drafted, having multiple years in the NBA, in college. Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, John Morant. It is multiple guys. So, let's let these guys develop, and I'm cool. I think it is okay for players to 100% stay and develop their game, because Zach Edey is now a lottery pick, and I think 2-3 years ago he was not. So,
fun fact for you guys: Hank Gathers, when they were playing against the University of Portland in the Western Conference and West Coast Conference tournament, and he ends up dunks the ball, and he walks to the free throw line to get in the press that they were in, and he passed out. Would it surprise you, J-Rob, that coming back, him dunking the ball, the point guard that was back trying to defend was Eric Spoelstra?
Wow.
Yeah, that was Eric Spoelstra.
Wow.
Yes, sir. He was a starting point guard at the University of Portland.
Wow. That's crazy. Listen, Chad, y'all are learning at a phenomenal rate. This is new knowledge. Put that in your knowledge bank. If you don't know, now you know. See, this is why I like talking to you. I thought I had some. You took it a step further. I thought I had some. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Coach Bo.
Let's get to the title of our show.
Let's do it.
Mavs NBA contenders or pretenders? Last night, I got an opportunity to call a game with Luka and Kyrie versus the Cavs. The Struce was loose last night. But he from half court, it was electric. It was electric. But with that being said, are the Mavs pretenders or contenders?
I think that they're pretenders. And not because Luka isn't fantastic, not because Kyrie Irving isn't a great off-ball number two. I think that they're pretenders because of the way that offense is and what Luka has to do. I said this earlier when I was talking to Bob, and I said this when I was talking to the fellas. In 2008, 2009, LeBron James led the Cleveland Cavaliers in points, assists, rebounds, blocks, and steals. He was fantastic, and he was elite on the other side of the basketball. I think he finished second that year in Defensive Player of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. He finished second that year in Defensive Player of the Year. As much as I marveled in how awesome he was, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, why does he have to do this much in order for us to win? He should not have to do that much in order for us to win. So when I look at Luka and I look at how Luka sets everybody else up, how he sets the table, guys like Gafford, PJ Washington looks a lot better in that offense.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he looks way better in that offense than he did in Charlotte. Way better. The fact that he could get off the basketball and go to Irv the way he does and basically take a step back, I see him doing that. The difference is that he doesn't do that enough. How many 45, 14, and 9 games do I have to see, J-Rob? How many 39, 20, and 8 games do I need to see? He should not have to do as much as he's doing in order for them to have a chance to win. And what's going to happen is when you got a guy doing that much, once playoff time comes, teams key on that. So what they do is they do their best to slow everybody else down. The guy that I equated to is Jordan. There's a reason why the Bulls weren't winning early, because Jordan was doing everything that Jordan was doing. The reason why the Cavs weren't winning, because James was doing everything that James was doing. We're going to slow everybody else down, and we're going to give you the basketball, and we're going to make you beat us. And I think that Kevin Garnett made it clear. You could be better than me. You could even be better than me and him. You ain't better than all of us. That's just not the way that's going to work. And with Luka, it's almost like the offense is conducive to him having to be better than everybody else. He's the primary ball handler. The offense runs through him. Everything they do is because of him. His usage rate is, I think it's right around where it normally is. I would like to see Luka, more than anything, change a bit of his game and not just be more of a distributor, be less of a scorer, be more of a playmaker, and not only allow these other guys to do more, make these dudes do more. Miami proved that with Bam. Him becoming a 20 and 10 guy instead of giving up on him. Make these guys do that. The Chicago Bulls, make Scottie Pippen get better. Make Horace Grant get better. Make these other guys get better instead of putting guys around Luka who are just conducive to his game, because that's not a winning recipe. That's not a recipe for winning. Get him some continuity, right? Get him some guys that he's going to be around for a while and demand that these guys get better, because what he's doing, it's not a recipe for winning. It's too much that he has to do in order for those guys to win, and I just don't see it happening.
All right. On my end, I got them as contenders, and I'm going to tell you why. For the first 7, to me, from this first 7 years of an NBA career, I think Luka's the best offensive player I've ever seen, and to start an NBA career. And when I look at the playoffs, I've already seen Luka Dončić. Like, I will never be able to get the mind of how he outscored Phoenix and just took over a game and just said this thing is done in the first half of basketball. When I look at his ability, it was over. It was
40 at the half.
He took their soul in a half of basketball. It was one of the craziest performances I've ever seen. And I know and I understand where you're coming from, that he has to set the table for multiple players. But to be honest, that's why I think they're contenders. Because I think if I have Luka Dončić dictating the terms of a basketball game, I think I have a great shot to win every basketball game.
Right.
If I can, and this is my thing, I look at a Pascal Siakam. At first, I wanted the Mavericks to bring in a Pascal Siakam. I thought he'd be a great third option to fit around Kyrie and Luka. Seeing Gafford and PJ get thrown into the mix as just pieces they like toys for Luka, like a quarterback getting new wide receivers. Like a quarterback getting new wide receivers. That's what Luka Dončić feels like with them new big men that he got. And Derek Lively. Patrick Mahomes with a bunch of toys. And so I look at Luka Dončić with those guys. He completely has his hands all over the game. And I think him having Kyrie Irving now is the perfect counterpunch. It's like being a great sword fighter in a video game and then having a nice little pocket knife right in your boot, just so every time I give you this jab that you can't see coming, every time with Kyrie Irving. And I think because of how great Kyrie Irving is, and I'm going to be honest, Chill, it's amazing to see that even at this age, his game is aging gracefully in the NBA. Even at this stage, he is still one, I think, the most premier and complete offensive players in the game. And no matter what, because of what Kyrie is, he has the ability to he can close a game out just as well as Luka can for you, because of how insane his offensive bag is.
Matter of fact, they went to him last night.
Exactly. And so because he takes so much stress off a player who can dominate a basketball game to the level of what Luka Dončić can, I don't think I could look at them as a pretender, because I don't think I'm gonna say this. I don't think they're a favorite,
right? But
I'm gonna be honest, Chill. If the Dallas Mavericks were in the finals, I would not be surprised. I think Luka Dončić. I think after 05, 06, you had LeBron James was the best player in the NBA, and we couldn't say it yet because he didn't win a championship. I think Luka Dončić. I know everybody says it's Jokic or Giannis. I think Luka Dončić is the best player in basketball. And I think we are just not allowed to say it because he doesn't have an MVP trophy or he doesn't have a finals MVP. But I've watched this guy go to toe to toe with multiple giants in the NBA and look like the absolute best player on the basketball court. Time in, time out. And I will say this. I understand he has to score 40 points, 38 points. It's the most effortless scoring I've ever seen. And I know he says it may look effortless, but it's not.
It is.
It looks too easy for this guy. So I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Now to counter that, which it does, you brought up a lot of interesting points, and the fact that Luka does have Kyrie Irving. He does now have a Bugatti, and he does now have a Mercedes that he didn't have before. Right now, I got jet skis over here. I didn't have this before. But the difference is that Luka's game is still Luka's game. Luka's still one of those guys who pounds the basketball a lot. He holds on to the ball a lot. So if anything is going to change with Luka, it has to be his game, not the personnel. He's got to be more trusting of the guys that he's working with. The reason why these teams win the way that they do is because players like James, Jordan, players like that, Jabbar, Magic, they trust the guys that they're running with. Luka trusts those guys, I feel like, up into a certain point. I think he trusts himself more with the basketball than he does those guys. And I don't think that that's conducive to winning. If he could change his game in that aspect, and we're coming up on that time too, J-Rob, because he's in, I think we're in year 6. We're coming up on that time. We coming up on that time where I've already shown how nice I am, right? I've already shown how good I am. I've already shown how awesome I am as an individual player. Now I have to get my guys more involved in the game, because winning is what's going to define what my legacy is. Y'all already know how good I am as an individual basketball player. And not unfortunately, winning does matter. So I couldn't say in 1988 Jordan was the best player in the game. I couldn't say that, because it was a dude named Larry Bird who was averaging 30 and 10, who had just won the league MVP 3 straight years and won the NBA championship 2 years before that. And a guy named Magic Johnson who had won the NBA championship in back-to-back seasons. So as awesome as Jay was, the awesome as the offensive player he was, awesome as the defensive player he was, to get other guys involved in the game, I understand to get other guys involved in the game is definitely something that you have to do if you're going to be put on that same page. J-Rob, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying when I talk about basketball players. Luka, when he first showed up, we had this conversation about him and Jason Tatum. When he first showed up, Luka was way more polished than any of those guys. DeAndre Ayton, Trae Young. He was more polished than any of those dudes. I felt like his ceiling wasn't as high, though. And the reason why I didn't think his ceiling was that high, because I didn't think that there was much more there. It's kind of like when Jason Kidd showed up. When Jason Kidd showed up, what he was doing in the NBA in year 5, he was doing that his freshman year in college. I was already faster than everybody. I was already bigger than everybody. I could already handle the basketball. There's really not much else I could do. Now Jason Kidd ended up adding the long ball to his game. But for the most part, I'm still a better distributor than 90% of y'all dudes.
Right.
Like I was in college. I'm still a better ball handler. I'm still a better defender. Well, Luka, I feel the same way about him in the aspect that when he showed up, he was still better than 90% of the guys. So how much better does it get than 35, 9, and 8? I don't think it gets much better than that. What could happen, though, is we could see a 37-7 season, and he's so much better. He's so much more efficient. His unit is so much better. So we're never going to get – I've always felt like this. Complete players are an anomaly today. There aren't many guys. There aren't many Kawhi Leonards, LeBron James, guys who are elite on both sides of the basketball. There aren't many guys like that today. But if I can get a level of defense that's respectable, plus what I'm getting on offense, I think we're talking about a different guy. Luka's going to have to change some of his game in order for those guys to win.
No, I mean, listen, I don't want to completely disagree with you at all, and I understand. I definitely think you raise a lot of good points. I just think I have an overwhelming confidence in him because from
how couldn't you? How couldn't you?
Yeah,
how could you not?
Yeah.
If you watch Luka, if we being honest, J. Rob, and I'm not going to cut you off, but if we being honest,
you
how could you not? How could you watch Luka and be like, yeah, this dude, he's all right. You goofy.
Yeah.
You are goofy if you clearly ain't seeing the same thing we seen.
Right.
You clearly not. But there's some things that he has to change. J. Rob, you're a football guy. You could see a guy in Justin Herbert. He could sling it with the best of them. I think he could get those stand up 70 yards.
Yeah.
But there's some things that he's got to change in his game in order for us to be better. He has to.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I think the only thing that I say when I look at basketball versus football, and look, I think Luka going to have to be a little bit feisty on defense. I think to the start of the NBA season, he seemed like he's been trying a little bit more. And obviously, look, ultimately, Luka Dončić is never going to be no above average defender. He's just not athletic enough. You understand that? I want people to understand to play defense in the NBA, you have to be really great in your lateral quickness. And some people are just not going to have that, even if they try their absolute hardest. So it's really his effort is going to be good, but I don't never think he'll be an elite level defender. But I will say this.
Neither. I don't think so neither.
I watched Giannis Antetokounmpo. I've watched Kawhi Leonard. And honestly, you'll say those are guys who are great on defense as well. But I watched Nikola Jokic, who is not an elite defender by no stretch.
Right.
Go out there and just dominate a series, dominate a finals. When you look at the series, who is taking this thing over is one player. It's one player saying, I'm the best in the world. I'm the best guy on the floor, and I'm just going to just do what I want. And I'm going to be honest, once Luka Dončić puts that Joker smile on his face and he's out there hooping and he's the only basketball player I know that I've ever seen in my life who will be busting your ass and laughing like he at the comedy show while he's doing it. When he put the Joker smile, the Riddler smile on his face and gets to get into a bucket. I mean,
we already had that conversation, J-Rob. Like if he was at the park, he'd get punched in the face. 100%. If he was at the park, he would definitely get punched in the face. 100%.
Yo, he's laughing at it, so it's just like,
yes, he would definitely get punched in the face.
I will just ultimately, I just have to give him benefit of the doubt off of that. But do you want me to throw the link in here? Because we're at about the 50-minute mark. You know.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's talk to some people. Yeah, let's do that. I'm down to talk to some people.
All right, let's do it. Let's throw the link in here.
Let's definitely talk to some people. Yeah,
let's rock.
Let's see how they feel.
I got Brax in the background. What's good, Brax? You muted, brother. You muted, brother.
How you doing, Mustang?
How you doing?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't like your comment earlier, man, because you made it seem like I'm two-faced. How am I two-faced? Last time you
100% a sucker. You
how?
100%. You a straight sucker. I'm good.
Wow.
You a straight sucker. Smile on my face. Behind my back. You get in there and you joke with you a sucker.
That's count. That's count. Because last time I came up trolling, you kicked me.
Chat, I be telling y'all, chat, about how y'all be doing this. Y'all be trying to be too funny, but y'all want to come
but when I talk ball, look, J-Rob, all I said was I be cooking them. That's all I said.
No, you did. First of all, you don't cook anything. You cook cereal with spoiled milk.
Stop. No. You be cooking them good tuna and jelly sandwiches. You cook cereal
with spoiled milk.
No.
There's plenty of times
pastrami or raisin bread. That's what you be cooking, Chill. You never cook me. But anyways,
get to the basketball.
Anyways, right. My fault. That's me. Yeah, on the logic, you say you got them as pretenders?
Yes.
Nah, I disagree. I think they're contenders because for one, this is the best lineup we've ever seen Luka with. And we've already seen that man go to a Western Conference Finals. I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with J-Rob. The talent that this man has, I do agree that you can't just 1v5 a team, but we've seen him do more with less. And he has pieces around him that complement him almost perfectly. He has lob threats, he has shooters, he has a secondary option. On top of the fact, I'm not going to say they're finals winners this year, but
what exactly is a contender? Before you go any further, what exactly is a contender to you?
I'm going to call them contenders before I call them pretenders too.
What's the ceiling for this Dallas Mavericks team today? What is the ceiling for this team?
For the ceiling is the finals.
So you think they could get to the NBA finals?
They could if everything goes right, they can go to the finals. But me personally, I think they're like if it's just like a neutral setting, they're probably a second round, maybe Western Conference Finals thing, but I think they can make the finals. For me to call them a pretender, that would be me saying they're like a first round exit, and I just don't see that.
I don't think that's the same thing at all.
Nah, that's not the same. Yeah, that's not.
So what's a pretender to y'all?
A pretender is somebody that's considered making the playoffs and making a deep run, and they don't even make the playoffs, and they're not in contention to win it. I don't think the Dallas Mavericks are in contention to win the NBA championship. That's what a contender is. That's number one. Number two, when you look at the lineups in the Western Conference, sure, Luka is fantastic, but do they have other pieces that can be neutralized, where now Luka has to do everything. Don't sit there and act like we haven't seen Kyrie Irving in the playoffs go to pieces. We have seen that. Well, what kind of evidence do we have?
Seen that, Chill? When's the last time Kyrie had a bad playoff series? A bad one.
2022 when they got swept out of the playoffs by the Boston Celtics.
He didn't play bad.
He had that one. I believe he had that first game where he went for like 35. He didn't play well after that. He got shut down for the rest of the series. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. That's number one. Number two, when you're talking about neutralizing the rest of those guys,
they was busting their ass that series, Brax. That was a masterclass in defense.
I'm talking about from an individual performance.
That's the point.
That's the point. Yeah, that's his point.
That's
his point.
Anyway, I'm sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just
you good. So as I was saying, when you have a team where one guy is doing that much, it's a lot less difficult to neutralize him, and it's easier to neutralize everybody else, like Gafford, like PJ Washington, like Kleber. It's easier to slow the rest of those guys down and make Luka do everything like he's already been doing, which we've seen in the past. That is not conducive to winning. So when you get into a 7-game series with the Minnesota Timberwolves, you get into a 7-game series with the Denver Nuggets or the Los Angeles Clippers, teams that actually play defense and can neutralize those other guys, and the stage is bigger, then you see something completely different than what you're seeing right now. Is Luka fantastic? Yes. But I think that the way that roster is constructed, you can neutralize those other guys and slow the rest of them down. And I don't think Luka could beat us by himself. James couldn't do it. Jordan couldn't do it. None of those dudes could do it.
I think that's true when it comes to, you said neutralizing the other players. I think that's true when it comes to, neutralizing them from another standpoint. I genuinely think Luka is an offensive player of the caliber. He can make any pass on the court. If your game plan is let Luka run free and neutralize the other threats, you're expecting 60. Easy. I'm gonna be honest with you. If the threat is double team him and his other players are going to have to hit those shots, he has players that can hit those shots.
That's not the game plan, though. That is not for guys like Luka.
So you want him to get 60?
Let me ask you a question. What was the game plan for Joker? Let Joker get 50.
Yeah.
And they lose.
Yeah, they're cool letting him score.
And we slow everybody else down. That was the logic with Joker. Let him get 50 and we'll slow everybody else down. Right. When that happens, that completely takes away from everything else they're doing. When you look at when you look at that Dallas Maverick team, and let's also not forget that Luka is another one of those guys that gets hunted. It ain't like Luka is. It's not like Luka is dropping down in a chair and slowing anybody down. They're going after Luka too defensively, and Luka wants to get back to the basketball. So now we got a guy who's suspect on defense, and we're gonna slow everybody else down. We could smoke these dudes in a 5-game series.
5 is crazy, but I will agree on you on the defensive aspect. Spo said it best. You're not going to get far if your best player can't play defense, or if you can pick on a best player. I was going to say I feel like that's going to be the deciding factor on this team. The fact that he's actually showing an effort to play defense on this team works wonders, but it boosts this team in my opinion. The fact that you can't pick on Luka, the fact that as much as people like to disrespect Kyrie, he's not that bad of a defender. He's just small. I just think the team as a unit isn't that good defensively.
How about that? So not only are they not as good defensively, offensively, their engine, the guy who's holding the basketball, who's doing the most, they're going to slow down everybody else. So instead of us jumping you, we know how good you are. We're going to jump your crew, and we're going to make you beat us. That's a recipe for disaster.
Luka definitely can do that, bro.
We haven't seen him do it. We haven't seen him do it. What are you talking about?
We haven't seen him, beat a team by himself?
Who have we seen him beat by himself?
The Clippers? Am I tripping?
I think you are tripping.
Well, can I ask you, Chill? Let me ask you.
Number one, they didn't beat the Clippers. They lost to the Clippers.
Oh, wait, I'm tripping. My fault.
Yes, you are tripping.
Oh, what you got?
That's number one.
Yo, Bree, you want to see what Breezy? What you got for Unc? Because Braxton over here getting cooked, stir fry.
Yeah, I am low key.
I love the conversation. I'm just listening. And shout to Chill, shout to J-Rob.
My man Breezy trying not to be the villain. That's what he's trying to do. That's really what he's trying to do. He's trying not to be the villain.
Let me turn him into the villain right now. Then
Nah, it's right. It's wild because I checked to add to the conversation. I went and checked the clutch stat, and you know who was number one team? The Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks right now are 17-7 far as clutch games. They had 24. They won 17 out of 24. And as for for context, the clutch games are 5 minutes less in the fourth quarter, and the score is within 5 points.
Right.
It's a tough list. The Lakers is on it. The Boston Celtics are number 3. OKC is on there. It's like a few teams tied with 10, and the Wolves are the number 10th team. So case in point, all of those top 10 teams in the clutch games are above 500. So respectfully, all of them could be contenders. But to your point, Chill, to the title of the show, they 17-7. I gotta kind of respect that. But you said they wouldn't show up on the big stage, so I don't know.
I'm not saying that they. No. What I said was those other guys. That's who I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about Luka. If you telling me that if I'm a coach and you telling me Luka is the one that got to give us 55, he's got to give us 60, and he's got to do that 4 times. He's got to do that 4 times in a week because we're gonna slow the rest of these dudes down. I'll live with that. If he's gonna give us 60, if he's gonna give us 50, in order for them to win 4 times in a week, when we only have to focus on you and you only, I'm down for that. I'm definitely down for that.
Can I ask you this, Chill? Can I ask you this, Chill? For me, because I'm thinking about like the West as a whole right now. And I don't know like what teams in the West are like your big contenders, but like, do you have more confidence in a team like the Mavericks or a team like Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns? Because I will say this: if I had to put my chips on like maybe 1 or 2 superstars to knock down, let's just say for the sake of, let's say Denver and LA, the Lakers, because they were in the Western Conference Finals last year, those are probably some of the teams you got to beat to make it out of the finals. Of like the group of the other group of teams, I look at Luka Dončić as really, to me, the best guy to knock off one of those guys if I had to take an individual player. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's why I hold them in such regard as a contender, because I feel like I have more confidence in him and them than I do in like a Suns or a Clippers. Honestly, I'm not sold on the Clippers. I know a lot of people are, but I'm really not. I'm not sold. I like
Clippers.
I like what they're doing in Minnesota, but I think their immaturity is going to hit them in the playoffs. I really do. I like Oklahoma City, but I think their youth is going to catch up to them as well. And so, when I look at that, I think it's really hard for me not to look at them as like a contender. You know what I'm saying? Just because I also think it's scarce in the conference.
Sure. So to answer your question, J-Rob, I think there's certain teams that certain guys look at. So, for example, we saw how good the Toronto Raptors was. No matter who James had with him, we could beat them dudes. We could beat them dudes because I know for a fact.
No.
Dallas.
You back. Wait. Start. Wait. You lagged for a minute. Start over. You lagged.
The example that I gave was when Toronto played against Cleveland. James looked at them like, I don't care who they got. We can beat them dudes. I don't care who they got. Well, I feel the same way with Luka when it comes to Phoenix. They a bucket of extra crispy with him. No matter who they got, it doesn't make a difference. He owns them. 100% he owns them. And I think Jason Kidd did a great job of coaching against them. He exploits the matchups. He exploits the problems that the Phoenix Suns have. So, for example, Devin Booker is not very good in the double team. Not only is he not very good in the double team out high, he's not very good in the double team in the short corner. Well, your primary defender, who's not very good in the double team, we know when to jump him. We know how to jump him. That takes him out of the rhythm, not only of their offense, but him scoring. So then you compound that with Luka doing what he's doing and getting those other guys involved. I don't care when they play Phoenix, whether it's the first round or if they end up making it to the Western semifinals, I think that they definitely can beat them. Now, when you got other teams that can scheme against Luka and can match the front line, that can match their wing players and has defenders that can slow those other guys down, and they can make Luka beat them, then I think that they have a huge problem. For example, Denver. Because now you got a guy in Luka, as good as he is, he's got a guy in Joker who can match all of his production. Not some of it. He's got a guy who can match all of his production. Add that to the fact that we got frontline guys that can slow down your guys. That's a recipe for disaster for the Dallas Mavericks.
Right. So who out east do you think the Mavericks matchup are a matchup nightmare for the Mavericks?
In terms of if they ended up making it out of
the finals? If they made the finals.
If they make it to the finals.
Yes. That can actually reach it there.
Let's see. Who is a nightmare for the Dallas Mavericks out east that they do not want to see them? It's not. I don't think that there's a lot of teams. Boston. I think Boston can beat them, but Milwaukee, they would definitely exploit what Milwaukee does. Luka will definitely.
I ain't gonna lie. Luka on a perimeter versus Milwaukee. Chill. Come on.
He will definitely exploit what. He'll definitely exploit what.
Oh
Milwaukee
man.
Chill. I want to ask possibly.
No.
Knicks?
I only think it's one team. I only think it's one team in the East that's legit could go to the finals and win it.
So with that being said, based off of based off of that, and the fact that the West is just like, bro, anybody can make it. Even if they make it out to the finals, how are they pretenders?
How who?
The Mavericks.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that they're going that far. That's the difference.
Yeah, he's saying he don't.
So you think the only thing
that's stopping them going that far
is the fact that it's the West?
Hey, but hold on.
If they did though, like, do you think they have a legit shot at winning? Like, if they got Boston, is there a chance of them beating Boston?
I don't think so. I don't.
And if so, Chill, if Boston does end up beating the Mavs, like, what's the conversation with Luka?
Nothing. The reason why Jason Tatum won the NBA championship because he was on a bomb squad, not because. And if Luka outplays him, he sucks in the finals, so he can't win for losing.
Unfortunate.
That's the logic. That's the logic.
Yeah, no, Blaze. I know you said you had a question. What's your question, brother?
Hey, what's up, J-Wow? What's good? What's up, hey, I got like a 2-3 question. Hey, who y'all think more impressive this year, Luka or Shai? Like, who having a better season to y'all this year? Like, what player is more impressive to y'all?
Well, for me, I'll go quick. Leave you the floor. For me, I'm gonna say SGA because what Luka's doing, I've already known. I've seen this movie before. Everything he's doing is not surprising me. I think, him being up for MVP and everything like that is not surprising me. The reason why I give the nod to SGA is because if SGA is not on Oklahoma City Thunder, they're the Portland Trailblazers. Me and Unc has said that they are the Portland Trailblazers. And this kid is accelerated the clock of a team full of 19 to 23-year-olds, and he's the oldest guy at 25. Well, now they got Gordon Hayward, but he is the undisputed leader. And obviously the numbers are already there. I mean, he's averaging crazy numbers. But for me, the way he is carrying this really young basketball team, that's more impressive to me. So
I can get with that.
Go ahead, Unc.
You know that fine chick that she just fine as hell, and every time you see it, she can't really do nothing to like make herself look better because she already fine as it is. That's Luka. But then that chick that just showed up, all of a sudden, like she's looking better and better. That's SGA. Like Luka can't really do nothing to make himself look better. Like we already know who you are. You already awesome. Shai, on the other hand, last year he had a top 5 MVP season. This year, he's up for league MVP. He's one of the favorites. So, of course, looking at his game, how much he's improved, it looks better. I mean, Luka is already who Luka is. That the 35 and 15, the 40 and 12. We already seen that from him. So we already know who he is. So it's not like it's more impressive. No, we already know what it is with him.
So your answer is Shai?
Yes.
Fact. All right, chilling. J.
I'm so proud of you, Chill. Yes.
Who does Shai's game resemble?
Is that your way?
I'm on record. I think he's Steve Smith with a better athlete and a better version of Steve Smith. That's what I think he is.
Michael Jordan.
The last two. J. Rob and Chill. Who y'all think?
That would be Ant.
Who y'all think team is better between those two? Like, who has the better roster to y'all between those two teams?
The better roster?
Mavericks and Oklahoma City?
Mavs.
The Mavs.
Facts. Yeah. Is it all right? So if Luka was on that team, on OKC team right now, would they be the same seed or would they be worse?
You got to change. The problem that I have with changing players is you got to change the game. You got to change the system. Yeah, you can't just throw a dude on another unit and then automatically just expect it to roll like that. Oklahoma City does something way different. Shai is not the dominant ball handler that Luka is. He's not that guy that you got to put the ball in his hands and nobody else. Like J-Dub is one of those guys where he gets involved in the offense. Chet, the stretch five that he is, he gets involved in the offense. Luka is a ball dominant guy. Shai is not that. So you would have to change a lot of things in order for these dudes, in order for this. I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but you'd have to change that offense to be more conducive to Luka.
So, Joe, you basically saying Luka can't play that way to win. Like he can't win playing like that, right?
I don't think so. Not the way he playing. I think he's got to change some of his game.
Yeah, disgusting. I don't like that. Luka on OKC is disgusting.
I don't. The reason why I don't think Luka will work for what they do in Oklahoma City, to me, is truly because they only have one real rim running big in Chet Holmgren. Yeah. Like the fact that they don't have, like, to me, the reason why I like the Mavericks roster works so great with Luka, he got three bigs that's gonna roll. He got a lot of bigs. And lob threat. He got three legitimate lob threats. Yeah, he got three real lob threats, like Gafford, PJ, and Lively. And again, Derek Lively does not get enough credit for how good he's been to start his NBA career because unfortunately he plays center alongside Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama, who have dominated the spotlight. But Derek Lively in another draft class is getting a lot of credit for how good he's been early on in his NBA career, regardless of him playing with Luka. So I think what they have in Mavericks better.
Higher in the draft. If he was
100%.
If we have a redraft, he's definitely going higher than we.
100%. 100%.
He'll be averaging like 15 on the Wizards.
Okay.
He's gonna be one of.
He'll be
one of the best bigs in the NBA at some point, huh?
Is OKC going to get better in the
future? Do you think OKC?
Of course.
No, like OKC. Like, do you think the conversation with like OKC and Mavs is going to be I'm assuming it's going to get closer as time goes on. Then, like 2-3 years in the future,
I think the Oklahoma conversation OKC is taking big man. I think Oklahoma City is a stretch four away.
I don't even think a stretch four because they already got a stretch five. They Andre Drummond away from competing for the Western Conference Championship.
I'm not mad at that either.
Crazy.
That's who they are. They Andre Drummond.
Yeah, because I think Chet could play the four. I think Chet could play the four.
Something Andre Drummond-like type of player.
Chet is more valuable at the four. I'm gonna be honest.
Chet could play the four, Brad. He could play the four.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm not. Yeah, Chet can play the four. I'm not moved by Andre Drummond.
I'll give you a name out the draft. Oklahoma could go get you right now. Donovan Clingan, University of Connecticut.
Oh, a glass cleaner.
Glass cleaner.
100%.
Glass cleaner.
100%. And you get him on a rook deal too.
Wait, chilling J-Rod in the next 7 years, who you think will have more rings? Share Luka in the next 7 years.
SGA. I think he better lead.
I said the same thing. Chill.
I think SGA and this team, because of the continuity that they building, they're not. This is the Beatles. This might be the Beatles.
Yeah.
The Chet Holmgren, Jalen, SGA, they're not breaking that thing up. They the Beatles. And they're going to just put a bunch of other things around them. As long as the guys like the Dort stick around to help with the continuity, that'll be a veteran. I think Oklahoma City, if they're able to keep these guys in Oklahoma City, and that's the caveat though, Blaze. That's the caveat. Because Oklahoma City a hard sell. It's a hard sell.
So you asking me who's going to have more rings in the next 7 years? Is SJ. It's just not going to be in Oklahoma City because he's going to outgrow Oklahoma City.
Oh man,
I think I'm with Monk, yo.
Same thing with Anthony Edwards. He's going to outgrow Minnesota. It's not like Minnesota got a whack program. He's just going to get too big for them.
Just like OKC though. I'm confused. Like why do people?
And Carmelo Anthony did not want to leave Syracuse, but he was the number 3 pick in the draft. So,
but look though, I think like what J-Rod said, it's a continuity thing. As long as you keep that core, we good. I mean, rotational players. That's why they're called rotational players. They rotate in and out of lineups. I'm gonna be honest. Dort's not moving me. You can find a Dort anywhere. He's good.
Shut up.
Chilling, J-Rod.
Y'all think how you gonna tell me about my team, J-Rod? J-Rod, how you gonna tell me about my team?
I'm talking to you about your team. I'm telling you about your team. I'm telling you about your team. Come out. You see, this is what I don't like, and this logic is goofy as hell to me, yo. Because This is what people don't appreciate in basketball. Players like Lu Dort don't get the appreciation because y'all looking at that goddamn stat sheet every
night.
I'm looking at Dort.
Lu Dort, he's your toughness. He's your perimeter player. He could actually, his strong ass gets hot from three. You never know from the corner long ball.
I agree.
He's a dirty work guy. And the thing is that y'all don't understand, and this is why I forget. Y'all gotta stop looking, and this is why I gotta talk like my guy Alabama. Bama. Shout out to my dog.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, you young whippersnappers gotta stop looking at life like 2K. It's not 2K.
Look,
so, hold on, let me finish. To win a championship, you have to be in a locker room. This is why you young whippersnappers got to get off the game and play sports.
Okay.
Get in locker rooms. Get some to understand what chemistry is. Lu Dort is a chemistry piece, not only to what he brings on the basketball court, what he brings to the locker room. You can't just insert everybody. You asking Dort to guard the best player every night. You're going to ask J-Dub to give you 20, 23, 24, 25 points a night and then go out and guard the best player? He's not going to do that. So that's why you need players. So it's like, Brax, don't look at Lu Dort like at any other guy because not every other guy's going to come in and do that. That's what Dallas thought when they brought in Grant Williams. He was just going to be another guy, but they found out he's annoying as hell and eats his boogers, and they passed on him. They moved him up out of there. So, come on, man.
You done?
That's unfortunate.
Y'all said the same thing about Marcus Smart.
No, I didn't. I did not.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Hang on for a second.
Cook him.
Hang on for a second.
Am I lying? Everything he just said, did y'all not say the same thing about Marcus Smart? He takes the toughest assignments every night. You're not going to find him everywhere.
Does Lu Dort dominate the basketball?
Did y'all not say that?
And with that being said, Brax, and with that being said, how did that work out for the Boston Celtics?
We're talking about them making the final. We're talking about them being the finals. What you call it this year?
I'm not.
No. Win the finals this year.
Actually, where were they with Marcus Smart? How'd that work out for them?
They went to the finals.
Yes,
and they
sir. Lost. And why you think they went to the finals?
And look.
I'll tell you why they went to the finals. You know why they went to the finals? They went to the finals because there's a guy in their huddle saying, "Jason, can you score the rest of the points? I'll deal with 22 for the rest of the night." Saying, "Can you do this? I'll deal with him for the rest of the night."
Guess what?
You do your job. Let me. And the other guys didn't. We are not winning the NBA championship in Chicago without Horace Grant. We not winning the NBA championship in Miami without Udonis Haslam.
You don't win 4 championships in Golden State without Draymond Green.
Championship teams require that one guy that's just gonna like be motivating. He's gonna be like, "Come on, guys! Like we got to go and do like high energy guys."
It's not about just no. But see, could you explain to them that it's not just about the motivation? They motivate you through their play. They go out there and do everything. They energize the entire team.
I want to hear.
J-Rob, I'm telling you this now. I understand what you're saying. I agree. You need that. You need a guy on your team that's going to say, "Hey, I'm going to lock him up for the rest of the game. All you got to do is score." You can find better versions of Lu Dort. Yes, you can, Chill. Yes, you can. Look, the Boston Celtics literally did that with Marcus Smart. They got Drew Holiday. They did that. You can do that with Lu Dort. I understand that he was there with the build up. He helped build the legacy or the dynasty or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But you got to get rid of him if you want it to be a dynasty. That's just how it works.
So we got to get an upgrade from Lu Dort.
You got to get it. Same thing, different player.
We got to get an upgrade from Lu Dort. That's the idea. So we can get a 6'5" version of Lu Dort. We can get a 6'6" version of Lu Dort.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if y'all know this, but Lu Dort is not the defender y'all think he is.
Yes, he is.
He's not the shooter y'all think he is.
Yes,
he's shooting 40% from 3.
Yes, he is.
That is
I think what you're thinking about. I think what you're thinking about is you thinking about an all-world.
I'm not thinking.
Yo, I think he does just the right. I think he's the right glue piece. I think
I can appreciate maybe an upgrade from Lu Dort, but what you have from him is invaluable. Facts. Now, if you get somebody else, not only that, but what he brings. It's not like he didn't grow up with these guys. It's not like he didn't get better as a defender. It's not like he didn't get better as a long ball shooter. It's not like he didn't get better as an offensive player, but that's not his job. My job is to knock down open shots and slow down the other team's best perimeter offensive player. Look, that's my job. And I do that to the best of my ability. To the best of my ability, I do that. Now, if you want to upgrade Lu Dort, good luck finding that. But listen who you replaced Marcus Smart with. You replaced Marcus Smart with the best defensive wing in the game.
And they finna win. Find that? And they finna win.
So Oklahoma City is replacing.
They have the highest odds in the league to win.
They're gonna lose to the Bucks. They're gonna lose to Giannis and the Bucks.
Let's take.
Watch them lose to the Heat.
I want y'all to know the Bucks again. I want y'all to know, Chad.
Lose to the Heat.
Remember this day on February 28th.
Celtics in 4, Jay. Celtics in 4. Celtics in 4.
Second to last day in February. The second to last day in February of 2024. I'll tell you right now. The Milwaukee Bucks will be going to the NBA Finals.
Miami Heat going to the Finals.
A-Rob knows basketball, man.
They're gonna get swept.
Miami Heat.
They're gonna get swept.
I forgot what I was getting ready to say to you because I got thrown off the track with that logic right there.
Because that was just ridiculous.
Keep Marcus Smart on this crew. Don't get me wrong. Drew Holiday, I do everything that you do, set better. But keep Marcus Smart on this crew, and now add Porzingis to the roster. Do they still win?
Yup.
Wait, I'm sorry. Repeat that.
So take Drew Holiday off the roster.
Right.
Keep Marcus Smart on the roster.
Right.
But now add Porzingis to the roster. Are the Celtics winning?
No.
And that's because Marcus Smart?
Yes.
What?
Yes, that is because of Marcus Smart. I don't think y'all realize how much of a better shooter Drew Holiday is than Marcus Smart. And I don't think y'all realize that he's actually, if like just the same defender, if not better. So I don't. If I do everything better than you,
100%. I won't
then our chances are higher of winning. So I just don't.
Drew Holiday is definitely better than Marcus Smart. I won't argue that part. I won't argue. But what I'm thinking about I don't think you lose much. You definitely lose defense, but you don't lose much. You definitely lose scoring, but you don't lose much. But if you add Porzingis too. You add Porzingis, I don't look at playmaking as just a distributor. I look at it on both sides of the basketball. But with that being said, if you just add Porzingis to this lineup, keep Marcus Smart and you add Porzingis to this lineup, I still think that they win it. I still think that they win it.
I understand where you're coming from because Porzingis adds a layer to that Boston Celtics unit that they desperately needed.
Yes.
But also, if it comes to a point where it's like, okay, we're trusting Porzingis to Marcus Smart kickouts to win this game, we're gonna lose. We're just gonna lose. I'm more comfortable saying I'm trusting a Drew Holiday kickout before I'm doing a Marcus Smart kickout. Now, this logic applies to Lu Dort as well. I'm trusting Dillon Brooks this year from the 3 before a Lu Dort kickout.
You're tripping.
I just am.
This is ridiculous. This is
ridiculous. I'm trolling on that. But you get what I'm saying.
This is what I'm talking about, J-Rob. These dudes take years off my life, yo.
Yeah, these are ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous.
But look, like on that note, a 3 player like I don't know, Mikal Bridges or something. Like I'm trusting that before I'm trusting Lu Dort.
You know how much it's gonna cost to and this is another thing. They think this is 2K. Do you know how much Mikal Bridges is gonna cost you in a NBA that doesn't have a middle? There's no mid. You gonna tell these whippersnappers that there is no middle ground?
Yo,
it's the guys
how much older are you than me?
4 years, that's a whole class. That's a whole generation. It's a whole generation.
I apologize.
So when I'm thinking about it, you got to remember there's a middle ground. Mikal Bridges is a $100 million plus level player, brother. You're not going to.
I was just saying a player. I'm just saying.
And you understand? You don't understand about. I understand you don't realize there's a salary cap.
No, I get it. I get it. Look, I get what you're saying.
Things have to make sense, bro.
I get what you're saying, brother. My whole point. I feel like my whole point is there's a player out there that just does what he does.
Name the player that's not more expensive,
brother. My name's not Sam Presti. That's
hey, yo, J. Robin, chill. One more question before y'all end the live. One more.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. If Trae Young is on the Spurs, how much is Wemby averaging?
28,
at least 25. And they're a playoff team too.
A smooth
Yes, they're a playoff team.
They're a playoff. I think he averaged damn near 28.
They're a playoff team.
So if they go up, who leaves?
Huh?
And so with
they can have anyone, whoever you
Wemby,
want.
Yes, I think they're a playoff team with first of all, the stuff that Wemby does that a lead guard can help him do better makes them way better.
Facts.
Way better. Not only does that make them way better, that makes their unit way better. Right. Because just so you know, Trae Young ain't just enhancing Wemby. He enhancing the rest of them dudes too.
Yeah.
Transition.
Yeah. I meant team wise. I meant team I think
they're a playoff team. If Trae Young is on that team, they're a playoff team.
But what team goes if they go up? Because who are they better than? If they get Trae Young.
If they let's see. I think Memphis. First of all, Memphis is going to be back in the mix next year. I think the Rockets. Let's see. I'm thinking about the Rockets. I'm thinking about the Jazz.
Yep.
And I'm thinking about the Lakers. Those teams.
Yeah.
Those teams can move.
Okay.
So, all right, fellas, we'll get with y'all dudes later.
Y'all be
get with y'all dudes later.
All right, man.
Remove. All right, anything before we about at our time?
We got anybody else in the back, or we good?
We Gucci. I think everybody.
All right, we good. All right, we got everybody. Yep.
All right.
So,
tell these folks what you need to tell them, Unc, on the way out. Give them their words of wisdom.
And we got some good basketball for the rest of the season. We will be here. But with that being said, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive.